When you catch yourself thinking, I need to get out of a job and I need to do it fast, what comes up for you? You panic, you get overwhelmed. Where do you even start? For those of us with ADHD, that moment is like a full body jolt. Our brain goes into overdrive. 10 ideas pop within seconds. We open up 10 new tabs on our browser because we want to look for different jobs that are out there. And then we shut down. Just as fast as we ramped up, we shut down because it's all too much. So this video is not about finding the right job. It's about resetting your starting point so you don't feel paralyzed and you're actually able to take action and move forward. So I've created 3 videos that'll walk you through this journey from the starting point, which is this video, to removing obstacles and managing through the obstacles, and finally your first 90-day plan. Once you land that job, what do you do in the first 90 days? So for this particular video, what you're going to walk away with is clarity on next steps, a simple framework for reflection, almost creating your own vision board of where you like to be, and most importantly, a reminder that you do have full control of this career growth. Let's dive in. Let's get real about what staying stuck looks like. You could be losing your confidence. You could be blaming yourself and internalizing that it was you that caused the problem in the first place, and not because that you're doing a job of 3 people. You start feeling drained all the time. Your energy, your motivation, everything is just slow, and you do not want to show up for work. And you feel stuck. You're in this overthinking loop of how the hell am I going to get out of this? Now let's go further. Underneath, there are quieter conflicts at play that keep you spiraling and not taking action. Here are 3 that come up in conversation as I coach my clients going through this transition. The internal conflict around fear of making the wrong move. What if it's the wrong decision? Shame of not having a plan. Where do I even begin? This is so exhausting. I don't even know where to approach and I don't even have a plan. And also the big one, grieving the idea of leaving, as unhealthy as it is for you to stay in your current role, but leaving, there's grieving that comes with that. If any of these landed for you, I want you to know that's your brain at work. This is your brain saying, wow, change is too ambiguous, too uncertain, and would take a lot of effort, so I'd rather stay safe. It keeps you from taking the next steps, which is sneaky because it should be about us taking agency of our brain. All of this that I just went through, super normal, super valid. It happens within split second and the spiral continues. It's almost like our brain says, I'd rather you suffer than make a change for the better, because change comes with effort and energy. And the brain goes, who wants to do that? Let's play it safe. That uncertainty that your brain has, that fear that your brain has, and I say, yes, the brain and not you, because it's the brain that is driving the ship here. Here's a flip side of that. Here's how we can see what the other side could look like. When you reset, actually, when you sit down and plan this out, you get more clarity. You're able to fill in the blanks of uncertainty. And also you're giving a path to your brain that, look, we're not sitting in ambiguity. There's a path forward. Here are the steps, which also increases your confidence again. Every time we take a little action, the brain goes, oh, we did that, didn't we? Let's move on to the next one. Let's move on to the next one. The little pieces of action that you're going to take throughout this journey actually will boost you back up and motivate you so that you get through a path that is more aligned to who you are and your values and strength, and not one that you chose out of desperation. Let's ground this into a real example. These days, the conversations that I'm having with my clients are very much about this particular transition, going from one career to another or fixing the one that they have. Let me introduce you to Paul, an executive in the digital space. He came to me thinking that he needed to push harder, he needed to fix his skills and also manage his ADHD so he could do better in his current role. As we went through coaching, he realized that it actually wasn't about pushing harder. It was that the role was not the right fit for him. We unpacked the overthinking, built a framework for him that worked for his brain so that he actually landed the next gig that was more aligned to his strength, to his values, and also how his ADHD works for him. You see, that's the difference between spiraling in your current role or resetting and building the right foundation for the next role so that you don't take the same you into the next job. Now let's dive into 4 steps that I want you to consider as you're sitting in this, should I leave or should I go? We want to make sure that your brain has a roadmap and clarity. Without it, the overwhelm will continue. I've said this enough by now. So here are your 4 steps to bring this contemplation into reality. What do I want in my role? What actions am I going to take? What values and strengths are really important for me and aligned to who I am? And what support system do I need to build in order to make this a reality? Let's walk through each of the steps. In step 1, what do I want my role to be? I want you to be clear. I want you to be detailed, but not overly detailed. And I will talk about in a few minutes as the objections that your brain will throw at you when you're about to define your new role. One of the exercises that I like to take my clients through is write your ideal job description. Write it as if it was the job that you were going to apply for. What would it say in the job description? What would you be doing? Who would you be working with? Do you need to be doing remote work or hybrid work? Is it a team environment? What would your boss be like? Are they open to dialogue all the time? Do they want brainstorming with you? Or are you the type that you just want to be left alone, autonomy, just doing your thing? So I want you to get specific on a few of these elements. And in the worksheet, I give you some checklists that you can kind of go through so you don't have to think too much about this. The idea is imagine as if you had this job today, right now. What type of work is it? And what kind of impact are you making in your own life, in the life of others? So dream big, dream as if you're in it right now. And yes, every time the brain goes, but I want you to just shush it. We're dreaming here. There are 2 questions that we can kind of massage this vision, utopia of a role to make it a little bit real and a little bit more reasonable, if you will. So if tomorrow I offered you to be a CEO of an organization, would you take the role? Yeah. If it's a hard yes, and yes, Kathy, I have all the skills, the abilities, the know-how to run a company and be the CEO, okay, fine, then that's your role. But hey, if that CEO role comes with a bunch of people managing strategy and all of this stuff, would it be the ideal role for you? I also want you to check in on, for example, if let's say you were going out of corporate into transitioning to become a realtor. Now, the idea of being a realtor sounds really awesome for you. And you're like, oh my God, this is my dream job. I get to interact with people. But here's the thing. 80% of real estate work could be paperwork. Are you comfortable with that? And 20% of it is only the stuff that light you up. So I want you to also be reasonable in finding the right difficult kind of a role for you. Does it challenge you? Does it keep you kind of intrigued and interested? Or is the novelty going to wear off after 2 months? I remember when I was in that crossroads of changing careers dramatically, going from working in enterprises to working for myself, the idea of working for myself was energizing. The idea of going back into corporate world and doing the job with my eyes closed because I knew this stuff inside and out, that would have lasted maybe 6 months in another company. And then I would have been back in my spiral of stuckness. What's my purpose? Why am I here? So I want you to question that. If you were given the job tomorrow, will you give it a hard yes with energized, more aligned, and you're ready to go? Another thing that I want you to think of is if you were to step into this new role, what new changes and benefits will this give you right now? Dream big on that one too. Does it truly light you up? Does it actually make an impact in your life? So I want you to not be making lateral moves, but moves that actually give you that motivation, that inspiration that's aligned to, oh my God, I could wake up to this every day. That's step 1 is what do I want in my new role? Have fun playing with that. Feel free to pause the video as you go through the worksheet and answer that. Let's go to step 2. What actions will you take in order to make this a reality? So before you do this particular section, I want you to also recognize that ADHD urgency trips us up. We will jump into action without a strategy. So I want you to be really aware of the fact that we need to have strategy, or else we jump into reactivity of shiny new objects, going at every job board, attending networking meetings that really don't even align with who you are and what you're trying to get to, submitting applications that actually the job wasn't even meant for you, but your urgency says, hey, let's just apply everywhere and in all places. So the antidote to ADHD urgency is strategic pause. And in this step, that's what you're doing. So instead of being reactive or freezing, you're taking a strategic look. on your next plan, which is what I did with Paul while he was career transitioning. Now, here's the thing. If you're a project manager, you're used to the framework of agile project management. And basically, one part of that is this: we're going to do things in sprints, we're going to do them in segments, one piece at a time. So you're not allowed to create an entire action list of all the things you're going to get done. So for now, what I want you to do is consider 2 to 4 actions that you will take immediately, as reasonable as it can be, over the next week or over the next 2 weeks. So for example, let's say it's updating your LinkedIn. Does your profile align with the new role that you're going after? Now, I don't want you to, again, to do a complete overhaul of your LinkedIn profile. It's tiny tweaks along the way. Okay. So for now, it's modification, make it 10 to 20% better than what it is today. Another thing that you could be doing is reaching out to your current connection that are in the same field or new field that you're going after. Talk to them. How are they liking where they are? What would they suggest? Do they actually recommend you going into this role? I remember one role that I went into, I had a lot of, Kathy, don't go there. It's not the right role for you. But I'm like, oh yeah, no problem. I can handle it. And man, was I wrong. When I went in, it was not the environment that I wanted to be in. So my peers, my support team was actually correct in that one. Another thing that you could consider, which ties to that first step, actually do block off 30 minutes, 45 minutes to really sit with step one, to really design the ideal role for you. I often hear that the ideal role is not out there. Believe me, it is. It's waiting for you. It's just a matter of, are you ready to be in it? All right, step 3, values and strengths. This is as coachy as it's going to get, but I need to make sure that we talk about it. Too often, professionals with ADHD say yes to roles that they can do, but it actually drains them. You see, they're not paying attention to, yes, I can do the task, but does it align to my values? Does it align to my strengths? And over time, when we get that dip of like, I'm not engaged anymore, because it didn't align in the long haul to your values and strengths. So here are 2 questions, and there's more in the worksheet, but here's 2 for you to consider. What strengths do I want to use more in my next role? If creativity is one of your strengths in your next role, how often should that be showing up? If you're really good at being in think tanks and conversation and dialogue, that should be showing up in your new role a lot more often than it is now. Another one is around values. What role drains me because it clashes with my values? You see, authenticity, for example, is one of my top values. And if I end up in an environment where I'm not authentic, where I'm not able to speak the truth, I call in sick more often. I even won't be able to focus in work because my values are not being aligned to what I'm doing on a daily basis. So strengths and values, key ingredient in making the decision. Really bring it out, put it in front of you. Now, here's the 4th and final step. I always say don't do ADHD alone. And in this case, don't do the job hunting alone. So I want you to create your board of brains in this exercise. I call it board of brains because in this brain, we're focused on one thing. The other brains, we will enlist them, we will recruit them in supporting us in this path forward. So here are a few questions that I want you to answer. Who in your life can you pick up the phone and call that will remind you of your strengths when you forget them? Because that comes up, that you start questioning your own skills. What communities, mentors, or peers can you connect with for encouragement? Now, here's the thing. These 4 steps are powerful, but they're not something most people can do on their own. That's why I've opened the doors to Quantum Thinkers community, where we're accepting just 10 new members. This is your opportunity to go through this career change journey with me and a group of ADHD professionals walking the same path. Registrations close on September 1st, and I'll be closing the doors till future day. This section of the video actually is going to get cut so that we don't accept any new members during this time. We really want to focus for the next 90 days and build this out with you so that you have a plan. If you're ready to take this work further, don't do it alone. As I always say, don't do ADHD alone. Come join us in Quantum Thinkers. We've been doing the work since 2021 inside this community, and we have some amazing professionals that have seen actual results of doing the work while in community. All the links and information are in the comments below. So my friend, if you stayed with me this long, congratulations. You did the hard part. You actually went through this in theory with me and walked through the steps. In the second video, I'll be going more into what are the things that actually will get in the way of us taking action and doing this worksheet. In the third video, I will walk you through my ADHD friendly, your first 90-day plan of you've landed a new job and you're in it. Now, how do you sustain it and launch into a successful career without overdoing it, without burning out again and spinning the cycle again? Drop in the comments if you have any questions. I'd be happy to answer them, and I'll catch you in the next one.